this is a man that's pushing 60 who's messing with a girl that's barely old enough to drink.
Yeah.
Let's stay there.
Let's stay there.
Because everybody skipped over that. What you doing messing with with people young enough to be your grandchildren, Hoss? And he talked about how he was at the Diddy party at Diddy's house. And how after, the festivities were winding down and it was getting later into the middle of the night, approaching 3 a.m., and he talked about how Beyonce was there and Jay-Z was there. Not at their house, at Diddy's house. And how Beyonce presented herself to him. And she didn't have to do that because he knew who she was and he couldn't believe she was talking to him. But she approached him. I would have to agree with Candace Owens. It's clearly a shakedown. But what I actually thought was, how does nobody see what they're trying to do? Because this is pure distraction. Pure.
From what?
And why is nobody looking at the lineup?
Jaguar Wright is back on her exposing spree, and she just set the whole internet on fire after spilling all the tea on why the industry is coming for Shanon Sharpe, exactly when his Club Shay Shay podcast was beginning to become the platform of truth-telling. She said Shannon is actually not as innocent as he puts himself out there to be, and that after the interview with Katt Williams, he was contacted by the higher-ups to join their elite club, and he happily joined. In fact, right after his SA lawsuit came out, it was reported again that Shannon Sharpe refused to watch the BDSM tapes he made with his 20-year-old girlfriend, Gabriela Zuniga, because of how graphic and disturbing the tapes were. Mind you, these are things that his 60-year-old self participated in with this 20-year-old girl, but now he can't watch it? Child, please. Now, just for a little bit of context before we get into the wild things Jaguar Wright revealed in her previous interview, Shannon disgraced himself and got thrown out of multiple million-dollar deals, including the $100 million podcast deal he was just about to sign when his ex-girlfriend, who was just 20 years old at the time of the incident, she's accusing him of, filed a lawsuit against him, accusing him of taking advantage of their BDSM encounters to SA her and put his hands on her. Now, mind you, Shannon is a huge, tall, and muscled up 60-year-old black man, and this girl is a small, petite, barely legal white girl. So right off the bat, this is already a bad look for him. What business does a man his age have participating in BDSM activities with a girl young enough to be his granddaughter? She said Shannon was violent with her multiple times and even threatened to off her at one point after finding out that she was sharing her live location with her family. At one point, she even tried to break up with him after finding out he was cheating on her, but that made him even more mad, and he went on to SA her multiple times through her booty hole, with the last SA happening in January of this year. Now, of course, Shannon and his lawyers had something to say about all this, and they jumped right into denying everything. Shannon said he and Gabriela had a consensual BDSM relationship, but at some point, she started getting greedy and began asking for more money than they had agreed. She even asked him at one point to pay her $25K per cheek, and when he refused, that's when she began plotting against him. She started secretly recording their encounters and editing them to make it look like he was SAing her. Shannon and his lawyer also put out several messages between Gabriela and Shannon in which she was asking him to choke her and even get her pregnant because she wanted a black baby.
I want to be daddy. I want like some hardcore BDSM action though. And then she says, I want you to tie me up like this in a daddy. And you can see when these text messages were released, you can see it says like from Gabby to owner. So it's painting a picture that their relationship was giving that, there was role play and everything that were happening. Now,
it was a very unfortunate situation.
It's
horrible situation.
But let me ask you.
Shannon Sharpe and his lawyer have handled this whole situation terribly. First of all, if you're saying to Sharpe, you shouldn't be saying anything.
No, he shouldn't.
But Busby and this young woman got audio, video, and text messages. If you know all of those things are out there, you should shut the F up and continue to allow your lawyer to do his job. And your lawyer said out of his own mouth that you was close to a $10 million settlement with that girl. That right there is all the more reason to shut the F up. I'm not here to speak to Shannon's guilt or innocence because I don't know, but I do know attempting to settle looks like an admission of guilt because I'm not settling.
Yeah, or you just scared. Yeah. Honestly, you just probably scared.
I'm with you, Charlamagne. I feel like he's being advised wrong, right? And you know, when people go through this, they go to an attorney because the attorney usually knows what's best for them. They usually know what to do. And in this situation, like any attorney would say, shut the F up and let's deal with it in court. Let's deal with facts because you can't change public opinion unless it's in court with facts. Now, but one thing I would say, if somebody said this, but I cried when you left because I begged you to put a on and you put it in my beep and you didn't listen. I don't care what our history is. If that didn't happen, I'm going to be like, what the hell are you talking about? Nah, we agreed on this. I'm not going to be like, I'll call you later because I'm feeling like this is a setup right here.
Absolutely.
As soon as you text me this, I'm going to feel a little, and nobody's just going to respond. I'll call you later. You're going to be like, what the hell are you talking about? We both agreed to this. You know, like, this is part of the game. Like, nobody's going to respond with that, which scares me. But like Charlamagne said, shut the F up. Let the facts play out in court because right now all this talking is doing too much
audio
and it's making it worse.
Even audio and she was like, you're manipulating me. Like even that would have been like, oh no. Okay, I see what this is. You know what I'm saying? At least they were role playing.
But wouldn't you have changed that right from the door? Like, what are you talking about? Like, no. Like, let's not play this game. Are you taping me? Because last night we was good with this. Like, in my opinion.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about, and I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys.
Oh, but baby, Busby was not here for Shannon and his lawyer trying to make him look like a crook, and he put out a statement in which he revealed that Shannon had actually offered Gabriela $10 million as hush money when she first confronted him about coming out with the lawsuit, but she turned it down and decided to come to him to help her file her lawsuit for $50 million instead. Sharpe offered Jane Doe $10 million to settle her case that she rejected. She chose to file her case instead. I'm proud to be her lawyer. I didn't seek her out as a client or target anyone, and Sharpe is well aware of that. Tony followed it up by releasing this audio in which Gabriela was telling Shannon to stop manipulating her, and he responded by threatening to choke her the next time he saw her. Tony also posted a message that Gabriela sent Shannon after he forced his way into her booty. The messages read, "But I cried when you left because I begged you to put a on and not put it in my and you didn't listen. I don't care what our history is. No means no, Shannon. I don't know how to process this."
I don't know. Anything I say, you're just gonna like get mad at and you're just gonna hang up on me. So I feel like
I'm not gonna hang up on you. Here's what it is.
What does that even mean?
Nothing, Gabby. You want to be a dick to me now, so.
I don't want to be. Don't manipulate me.
Oh, Lord have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm gonna choke the shit out of you when I see you. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I don't.
You know what?
Well, I don't want to be choked.
Yes, you do. I don't think.
Well, you're coming to LA tomorrow?
Yes.
Well, I don't know why you want to go out.
Don't worry about it, Gabby.
Well, okay.
Okay, what?
Well, I'm not really interested in getting choked, so I guess we're going.
Yeah. I might choke you in public. Big black guy chokes small white woman.
It's not a good look, Shannon.
Not a good look. You do what the shit did to me.
Okay, well,
As all this was going on, people were calling Jaguar Wright to step into the chat and give us the real tea on what was going on. And as expected, she didn't fail to do just that. At first, people even thought she was going to probably defend Shannon since all this started right now at the time he was expected to take his career to the next level with that $100 million deal. But baby, she wasn't here for the foolishness and exposed some crazy things about Shannon that we didn't even know. She said Shannon is in the situation because he put himself in there. According to Jaguar Wright, he had no business being involved with a 20-year-old girl at his fossil age, especially after Monique and Katt warned him that the industry would be coming for him after his back-to-back truth-telling interviews. But instead of listening, he started to roll in the sand with shady industry executives, and now they're working overtime to destroy him. Some of these shady industry executives include the NFL and Jay-Z. According to Jaguar, they were the ones who even got him that $100 million deal, and now they are snatching it right back in the most embarrassing way possible.
You know, a lot of people were angry at Shannon Sharpe after his Katt Williams 2024 God ain't playing with y'all interview. A lot of people were angry with him. Matter of fact, there's a lot more people who reached out to him after Katt, who he turned away because he couldn't take the heat. Is everyone forgetting that? And Katt warned him, they're going to come for you. Monique came after that, told him, they about to get you. You better watch who you kicking it with. She told him the kindest, most polite way possible. And then all of a sudden, he's accidentally going on Instagram, setting up whole corn lives. Humiliation ritual. Down to the floor. But why is nobody paying attention to? They're talking about money. 10 million offered to be quiet. She asked for 25,000 for the SCX. He wants 100 million for defamation and whoopty-whoopty-woo and all of this. Why is nobody talking about the simple fact that this is a man that's pushing 60 who's messing with a girl that's barely old enough to drink?
Yeah.
Let's stay there.
Let's stay there.
Because everybody skipped over that. This man has children older than this girl. Am I lying?
No, you're not lying.
His daughters are 32. Son is 30.
And he keeps getting online. And somebody want to apologize to my family. No, you don't. Because you would stop. You got busted out. You did whatever you did on Instagram. And is everyone forgetting that he was just recently tied to the whole bride and with Casanat and Skip Bayless? Is everybody forgetting that just happened just a couple months ago?
Oh man, yeah.
OnlyFans? You're negotiating $150 million big deal for your podcast outlets and all of that, which, by the way, was all set up for you by the NFL. Oh, I'm sorry. Who did Sean Carter work for?
The puzzle is puzzling.
No, last time I checked, Mr. Carter works for the NFL. And he was the one that got real smart Black Americans who were boycotting the NFL to stop giving the NFL their money. He was able to make all of that happen. I think we're past bending a knee. And then all of a sudden, Black people giving their money back to the NFL again? Those blackouts were for real, and it was costing the NFL millions. Want to know what else I also find funny? That he did that interview with the baby person who sat there and told him about when he met Beyonce. Y'all remember that? That happened on Shay Shay. And he talked about how he was at the Diddy party at Diddy's house. And how after, the festivities were winding down and it was getting later into the middle of the night, approaching 3 a.m., Diddy got rid of almost everybody, but he let the baby stay behind with him and his close friends. And then he talked about how Beyonce was there and Jay-Z was there. Not at their house, at Diddy's house. And how Beyonce presented herself to him. And she didn't have to do that because he knew who she was and he couldn't believe she was talking to him. But she approached him. Kind of like how she approached that old friend of his when he said that he was at the party and the little people was there and she asked him, "Isn't this sexy?"
Oh, but Jaguar wasn't done. She also said the reason why Shannon's first response to all this was to try and discredit Tony Busby, because the industry wants to break down Tony since he's the only one who is actually going after these industry creeps.
With Busby coming forward as the great champion against all of these evil elite, taking him down would be like the best thing in the world, wouldn't it? For them. If they can get him in one case where they can prove that it was a shakedown, that it was a this, that it was a that takes Busby out the Diddy game, don't it?
Sounds like it.
Let's be honest.
Jaguar even went as far as saying that some industry executives asked Shannon to intentionally get himself into this mess so he can distract us from the upcoming Diddy trial, and in return, he'll get an even bigger deal after the dust settles than the $100 million podcast deal he initially had in the works.
It sounds like he's doing whatever the white man tell him to do to throw off the Diddy trial. This ain't nothing but another distraction. That girl needs some serious counseling, and her parents need to get involved before she ends up like Bianca Censura.
Come on.
And Shannon Sharpe needs to be canceled. Period.
Yeah, what
he
say?
Of what he's done. Not because of what he's done, but because of what he's really trying to do. He's trying to derail this Diddy trial. He's trying to make sure that the Jigga Man don't get caught up in this RICO. He's doing his portion for the Illuminati, in my opinion. Have we not noticed the kind of interviews he's been doing this year? He's done at least 3 interviews with 3 different people that got up there over there with the Shay Shay talking about what no freak-offs. Didn't he just bring Amber Rose up there? A goof of thirsty ass.
Yep.
Running around with an airbrush makeup kit in a pocketbook to take away exactly how much she's aged in real life. more distraction. And they got to tap his ass in for another humiliation ritual because they're still pissed off at him about letting Katt up there do what he did. And that's how I feel about it. And that's all that is.
Child, it's a lot going on. One thing about Jaguar, she's gonna say some wild things that will leave you rethinking everything. Now, I'm in no way, shape, or form saying everything she said is true, but it's definitely interesting and hot. Folks talking like this person who said Shannon was too old to fall for the okie doke. That girl is young enough to be his child. He should have never looked at her in a romantic way. What an embarrassment. Another person said Katt spoke on the dangers of messing around with white girls, and Monique specifically told Shannon on her interview with him to find him an older woman and to leave those young girls alone. He should have taken their advice. Now look at what he's gotten himself into. Damn, Shannon. But now I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about Jaguar going off on Shannon for his affiliations to shady industry executives? And do y'all really believe he is being used as a distraction from the Diddy case? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and don't forget to click here to watch this other messy video.